37-month subscriber, Roskers108.
Yo, Hottie.
70-month subscriber, Nicola_Ocello. Yay, late afternoon stream from work.
Oh, right, I need to actually hold on, because I haven't done window capture. That's what I'm looking for. I haven't done a window capture in ages. That's not working. Neat. I'm gonna put you there. Hi everyone. Bear with me. I am so tired. I have not slept. It is 11 a.m. Hold on. Let me get to this. Let me put this on screen. There we go. I came up with this 5 seconds before stream.
Yo, Hottie.
55-month subscriber, Asia Faces 27. Almost crashed when I saw the news.
Hi, Savaces. Hi, Roz. Hi, I need to catch up. Crap, you guys on the Twitch chat, you've created a hype train. God damn it. Hi, Starscream. Hi, Nicola. YouTube chat. Hi, everyone. There's a bunch of names there. I don't recognize some of you guys, actually. Hi, welcome. Kildare, Real Trigger, Avril, Defense, Panic. Hi. Kingdom of Vinland. I recognize you. Ember, hello. Khaled, hello. Do you hear it? Do you hear it in my voice? I'm sorry if it's that bad. I believe me, I am very excited. Yeah, that's the thing, Ross. I don't drink caffeine. Listen though. Hey, Raid Optics. Kildare. That's all that needs to be said. She thieve on my wing till I shadow. That's it. That's all you gotta say. That's, you know, what else is there to say?
New follower, Avril doesn't stream.
That's a lie. She streamed at the end of Ace Combat 7. Hi, Avril. Hi, ACF Nugget. Oh, God. Yeah, and that was a fire first message on the YouTube chat. I'm going to leave the Panic Flag. Yes, I did eat breakfast. I'm going to leave this image up for a bit. I also realized because it's not a full screen thing, it's not even covering up the full OBS image. I am so tired. I am so tired. So let me just. Oh my God, Ace Convoy, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the goose honk, Ace of Aces. I'm glad to see those alerts are still working. First things first. I want to signal boost. Because I was even talking with Ace Combat Fan about this, and if Ace Combat Fan had forgotten, I'm sure a lot of more people had forgotten. The wiki is no longer on fandom. Unfortunately, fandom refuses to take down the old wiki, but we moved away from there for so many reasons, and if you've ever used fandom, you know many of those reasons. It's very, very obvious. We're on wiki.gg now. You just go to the, hold on, let me bring that up. Now I need to let me change this. Okay. This is the new wiki. Oh my god, and I didn't even Can you tell this is the first time I've streamed in a good while? I'll just center it here. You can straight up immediately tell that, like, the ads are not even close. And we've already got Ace Combat 8 here and here.
New follower, El Blyshinator.
Thank you for the follows, thank you for the subs, thank you for the donations, thank you guys, thank you. Yeah, so we moved 2.5 years ago now. This is a much improved version. If you can't remember it's acecombat.wiki.gg, but if that's too much for you to remember, I also set up a redirected domain, acecombat.wiki. Easy, simple, you put that, it sends you wherever we are. Also, if that's too much for you, get indie.wiki. This is a browser extension that redirects you to wherever, like, for not just Ace Combat, for tons of now independent wikis. Excuse me. So that's that. That's the signal boost. I needed to make
New
that signal
subscriber,
boost first.
El Blyshinator.
Thank you for the subscribe. Thank you so much. Let me close that. Let me bring back that's not what I wanted to do. Good to know that it immediately changes if I close the cool. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it on this screen for a second. I need to collect my thoughts. Oh god. So I'm getting notifications and everything. Pokemon Legends ZA DLC came out 3 days ago. And I've been trying to get through that story because I don't want spoilers. So I was playing that yesterday, and then the Game Awards came up, and my girlfriend and I, we were both watching, not fully paying attention. Like, we were watching, but, like, you know, it's a bunch of advertisements, and I knew Expedition 33 was going to win a lot. Congrats to them; they fucking deserved it. But so we were watching, and when a good thing I had actually stopped playing Pokemon by that point. I was like, no, you know what? This is enough Pokemon for me. That should have been my first clue that something was up.
Can you get me some water, please?
I don't even have water on me. I would have to BRB for that. Thank you, but I've got to push that back for a bit. Hi, Galaxy and Neko. Oh, Observing Procrastinator, welcome. Let There Be Carnage, welcome. So I heard the missile alerts, and I did not want to get my hopes up. I was thinking, like, okay, some kind of aerial combat, maybe. but not Ace Combat. Jeff Keighley, of all people, would not have Ace Combat. And then the life raft, and I was like, okay, this isn't Ace Combat. This is actually some kind of like Castaway situation. Then he said Federation, and I was like, still like, eh. Then he said Central, and I was like, stop. No. When he said Usia, I screamed. And I think I don't even remember now because it was all a blur. I think my girlfriend screamed too, and I think we destroyed each other's mics. Or headphones, rather. We destroyed each other's headphones. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. She's also an Ace Combat fan. For Twitch viewers, she's I'll post her in chat. She's not here, but her tag is Amari Torres. So yeah, here's the funniest part is that the live trailer, I could not pay attention. I did not get a single detail from the trailer watching it live. I was so in shock because, and this was a mistake. I was not streaming yesterday because I did not think it was going to be worth streaming. I did not think it was going to be worth the DMCA risk with the copyrighted music. Ember, yes, I know that his line about the Federation of Central Usia was not even seconds. I know. I'm telling you, that was my thought process. It was like time slowed down for me. I was going through a thought process there, and I was like, no, this can't be. No, this isn't. Wait, hold on. Oh shit. Oh my god. On top of it all, like the thing is, and part of the reason why I was so like thrown off and not paying attention, I'll have to catch up with chat. I don't have my regular setup is not at all set up. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me. I'm really sorry. This is all very slapped together. I am so tired. I did not. I last ate before the Game Awards. I just got breakfast like an hour ago. So I am running on fumes. And yes, because I was updating the wiki all night long and talking with people and stuff. So yeah, I am not doing very good right now. The trailer dropped at 10:30 p.m. New York time. It is now 11 a.m. New York time. So but the fucking visuals just killed me. Ace Combat 7 is one of my favorite games for visual fidelity, and 8 is blowing it out of the water, and I was lost. I was lost in the sauce. There's a lot to talk about, and that's surprising because after, like, this is not at all Ace Combat 7's first trailer. God, I'm shaking from nervousness now because I've got people watching me. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really sorry for how haphazard this all is. No, Stellar Griffin, it doesn't really look all that much better from 7 to me. I can tell, like, it's to do with the rendering. Like, something it's hard to explain, it's hard to put into words as someone who isn't like, I'm not an artist and I'm not a developer, and I'm certainly not a skin modder. Um, so I can't explain it in words, but especially when it's in motion, and I'm going to mute this because it is going to get me copyright claimed. Um, I don't know, something about it all is like a shot like this from a distance. Yes, this is. I can still see some difference in the clouds and in the plane render, but yes, this is primarily like this is very close to Ace Combat 7. But like with the animation, with some, it's to do with the model and the textures. Like there is a difference. Um, let me catch up with chat because I need to see what you guys are saying, and this is going to be a talking stream. I don't have like a what's the word? I don't have like a script or plan or anything here. It's just pretty much a talking stream. Um, yeah, ACF Nugget, Ace Combat fan did steal your name for the second channel. Yeah. Sorry, guys, just scrolling through chat, just trying to see what I need to respond to. Hey, don't worry, Roz, I did eat. It's just gonna take a while for that to go through my system to actually energize me again. There were a few shots in the trailer that yeah, they do look real. They do look really, really real. Also, yes, Ember, you are right. YouTube compression does muddy the graphics, so this is going to look even better on a real like TV. I can only imagine what it looked like at the stage on the Game Awards. On the game of on the stage at the Game Awards. That's the grammar. GTA 6 and Ace Combat 8 in the same year. Unfortunately, yes. So Ace Combat 8 will win 0 awards. That's the fate of every game that's going to be coming out next year. I will explain the story behind the behind behind identity theft Howard Stark here. I'm gonna catch up on YouTube chat. Yeah, I have heard comparisons to Armored Core, like something about the Armored Core intro. I don't know what that's about. Every frame of this trailer is profile pic worthy. Uh-huh. It really is. Did you think Ubisoft revived Hawks? listen, for the Game Awards? For the Jeff Keighley's? For Jeff's show for where he sucks off Kojima live on stage? I was surprised Death Stranding 2 got. Did it not win a single award? I would have expected Hawks 3 before Ace Combat 8 at the Game Awards. That's not a dig at Ace Combat. That's not a stage that I expected them to be at. Those trailer spots cost upwards of $1 million. I didn't expect Bandai Namco to put that kind of money behind it. Oh. Oh yeah, no, 100%. That they are reusing 7 for this 7 like textures and stuff without a doubt. So, I could go bit by bit through the trailer. Um, I mean, that's probably boring for you guys. I was starting to write a video script, but I realized that I I'm gonna consider still doing a summary video, but I realized that I just do not have the fucking energy right now to record myself and then edit. Which is why I'm doing this instead. Um, I will say that a lot of what I was going to say in my summary video is just on the wiki. Um, I've just spammed a link to the Ace Combat 8 page on the wiki in both chats. So if you guys want a general overview of what we've discerned from the trailer, from the websites, from this one Famitsu interview that uh, Kazutoka Kono and Manabu Shimamoto uh, they did. Um, no, Khaled, here's the thing. You are right. I didn't expect Bandai Namco to put so much money behind it, but the fact that they did is a very, very, very good sign. It means that they're confident, and it means that they consider this one of their top like actual IPs. So, in that Famitsu interview that came out today, um, I believe Shimamoto said that Ace Combat 7 is approaching 7 million sales, which I've been playing Ace Combat for 25 years. I'm as old as Ace Combat. So the, like having started playing these games with 4 and that game doing 2 something million sales and that being the record for the longest time. 7 million? That like I can fathom that number for like Call of Duty, but for Ace Combat it's just like that number doesn't make sense. I'm happy about it, but it just doesn't compute. um how much more bankrupt do you want Ubisoft to get? I Expedition 33 deserved everything. I'm so happy for them. Um Also, what's really funny is that this is the 10th anniversary of Seven's first trailer at PlayStation Experience 2015. So there is a neat continuity there. But it was not the Game Awards. It was PlayStation's winter or technically autumn, but it was their like end of year showcase way back when. And I was also watching that live with my girlfriend, and I was also very exhausted that day. um, yeah. So trailer. Um, hey you, you're finally awake. I mean, like, I don't know what this guy's deal is going to be. I don't think he is going to be a deal. I think he's just another mook. Um, Probably made specifically for the trailer, specifically to get me to think in that thought process. Let me turn this down from 2K because that's gonna take forever to load every time. Ace Combat fan on his second channel because his primary channel got demonetized probably because of all the soundtrack uploads way back in the day. So he's already gone through like a trailer analysis. I don't want to do too much of that. Um, like I'll point out some obscure things. Um, can you by the way, can you guys see my cursor? I was seeing it on my OBS, but I wasn't sure if it was coming across on stream. Like, if I move my cursor around, can you see that? You can. Okay. Okay, good. So it's going to be hard for you to see, and you probably need to go back to the trailer to see it. There's a dog. There's a dog on the carrier deck. Right there. And I'll tell you this. Boy or girl, it's a good boy or girl. All dogs are good. That's all that needs to be said. Hey, no, Red Chiron. It was not a JPEG, it was not a PNG. He just stood very, very still. He sat very, very still. And also, it's hard to see here. Yeah, there's no better shot of it, but on the side it says Thieves City Fire Department. So Thieve is the Wings of Thieve and everything. According to the websites, Thieve is the capital city of the FCU. And here I thought Los Canos was the capital city of the FCU. I don't know if that's changed. I mean, it was never said anywhere that Los Canos was the capital city of the FCU, but I always headcanoned it that way because that's where ISAF GHQ was in 4. So I always thought it was Los Canos, but if it was and it changed, I don't know. But new city, new Usian city. We haven't had enough of those. Good hats here. CV15 FCU Endurance. Just got to catch up with chat because I am not I am not set up. I'll get to that, Viper last. I'll get to that. I'm so like, so I was a big fan of NCIS early seasons, not now. The OG crew, Tony and Ziva and Gibbs and McGee. I kept thinking Proby. I guess not the OG crew, but the OG crew. And I'm not a Navy like aficionado by any means. I'm barely an aircraft aficionado. I can't tell you the difference between a C and an E Hornet. I just can't. So you're not going to get me to understand anything about an aircraft carrier. But I've been on aircraft carriers, primarily the Intrepid, because that's, right there. It's New York. The Intrepid is so fucking cool. So fucking cool. If you ever get a chance to go to the Intrepid, take that chance. It is so cool. I've been on that, and I've been on the I think it's the Growler, the submarine that's docked next to it. It's so cool. Anyway, I'll stop gushing about the Intrepid now because this is the USS Hornet. They did 3D scans of the USS Hornet a while back, and this was what it was for. But I'm just tickled pink to have like, because when is the last time we had oh, come on, Judy. I can't forget. Not just Abby, Ducky. Ducky was the best part of NCIS by far. So, like, no, of course, I can't forget them. I'm just talking about the main crew, the shooty bang bang crew. But I like, when is like, besides Assault Horizons deployments, and 7 to an extent, I think the last time we were on really like an aircraft carrier for an extended time was the Kestrel in 5. So just like being able to see like more interior shots and like carrier life and stuff is like I'm I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this a lot. Like not just not strictly from a story perspective, just a nerd perspective, I guess. I'm looking forward to hearing the Navy nerds especially geek out about. I mean, it's just the USS Hornet, but in an Ace Combat game. Um, I'm telling you, I can only think of Howard Stark when I look at this guy. Something about his voice, his mannerisms, it's all Howard Stark. um Catching up. Kestrel 3 coming up. I doubt it. Biz, is it an Ace Combat game if it doesn't have railguns and lasers? Just think about that. Good food render. Throw us a helmet. This I don't know. Like, is this a thing on carriers? Do they just host dance parties? There's Doggo again. Just the most important part about this. So at this point we get that line. I don't know if it's gonna play. No, this doesn't have the subtitles, right? That's the other one. This one I'll play, but I don't know if it's gonna. No, it's not. Let me put up the desktop audio. So Jan Rex Cope, in the European trailer, which I don't know why I'm not just bringing that up. They gave us the subtitles to confirm that, because I saw a lot of people thinking that his name was Jan Rexco. No, it's rendered like this. So his name is Jan Cope. His call sign is Rex. I'm not gonna say anything about the leak that happened a couple of years ago. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps when I bring my Exo 2. Yeah, so here's what I gather. Someone did correct me on Discord that we may not be the co-pilot necessarily. Like they tell us we're riding shotgun, and like it seems like we're being introduced to Rex, to OG Rex at this point. So we may not even be his Wizzo. So I don't know like what the story here is. Or we're actually Jeanette. We are literally Jeanette. We were just here to take some pictures. But we get into a well, this mass delusion. This is the Ghost of Kiev. This is straight up the Ghost of Kiev. Which is even funnier because Kiev sounds like thief, and they're both capital cities. But I don't know who this is that's speaking. I don't know if it's OG Rex or if it's some other character, but especially according to the websites, the Wings of Thief is not a real person. Never existed. So whether OG Rex is using that as a nickname, like just for the fun of it or not, we don't know. Because I'm not sure when this is added. I'm not sure if this is before or after what happens. But so what happens is that it seems like we get shot down by SU-50, SU-57, sorry, not SU-50. I'm sorry, Su-57. That is the correct way to say that prefix, but I always incorrectly said it SU, and then Longcaster vindicated me because he says SU in Ace Combat 7's DLC, even though that's incorrect. But whatever happens here happens. We get shot down, crash into the ocean. That's Rex's helmet. He's dead. Like Rex Cope dies, and I'm pretty sure this is going to happen before mission 1. Like this is going to be intro to the game, because then he tells us, I think he tells us to swim for it. We get to the surface, and then, hey, you're finally awake. And then whoever this woman is, I don't know if she's the commanding officer on the Endurance. I don't know if she's the XO. I don't know if she's a squadron commander. I don't know who this is supposed to be, but also these fucking they can't get one release, even a trailer release, without a subtitle error. To keep up alive. But she says to keep hope alive, Wings of Thief must, continue. And that's what the websites say in their story blurbs, that we essentially take up the Wings of Thief mantle and make the legend real, essentially. And Howard Stark here, gives us this line: that will be the greatest ace pilot this war will ever know. And he hands us the helmet. That's why I made this. Because he gives us Rex's identity. So Nicola, I don't think he forces us. The game is going to force us, but I don't think he's technically forcing. I think he's just like strongly suggesting. So that's the intro to the game. And I'm pretty sure, like, pretty much all of what we saw was like I think this is the missing man that they do for OG Rex. That being said, I'm used to missing man formations breaking left or right. I'm not used to seeing one break upward. So someone will have to correct me, like, or justify to me that this actually is a missing man formation. But that's what I gathered from this. Yeah, expert. It is Su, because it's short for Sukhoi. We don't call it SU Kahoi. Chopper's missing man formation was not an upward break. It was the person in the 4th position on the right. They broke right. Um. So yeah, so you guys were mentioning in the chat. Look at this subtitle. Who does that remind me of? And with that line and this guy, I really thought, and I'm still not completely unconvinced that this is an aged up count. I will say he shows up a few times. I thought he was in there. Or was he in the mess hall? Where am I thinking? Am I too far ahead? Or am I too far behind? Where am I looking? No, that's where it was, because it's a blink and you miss it. He's right there. And you could tell who the main characters are. There's they're the ones not wearing the grays. But here's the problem, and here's what pokes the biggest hole in my theory. Not so much this picture, but this picture especially. Whip, 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 whip. No, let me. Whoa. Let me do that. Whip, 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 whip. The goatee. That's what's really like. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how I'm going to feel. I've made my opinions about 3. I don't know if I would say very clear by this point, but so I like the background lore surrounding 3. Not so much 3 itself. I didn't think 3 was a good game. I really thought that the characters were kind of one note. The missions were so it was quantity over quality, in my opinion. And so many people glaze 3 to hell and back, and I can't. You fight the Inferna like 3 times in a row on the UPO route. It was obnoxious. The thing about the timeline, though, is that this is before Dician dies. He dies in 2030. So he doesn't become a dead copy until just before he dies. My concern is, what is he doing on a carrier? Because he should be affiliated with General Resource by now. But also, Viperlass, I should clarify that Darkness of Enigma is not the same as Yoko's sublimation thing. Darkness of Enigma was the X-49. Somehow Tabloid returned. Fusion, pay attention to the goatee. Pay attention to the sideburns. Just the facial hair in general, really. Got it? Facial hair and sideburns. Facial hair. Facial hair. That's what's really throwing me off. I was all in on count, but the problem with 3 is that half of its story, half of the lore details, not the story. The story in the game is still pretty solid for canon, but the lore details surrounding 3 and how it all came to be need to be cleaned up in order to fit modern strange reel, or true strange reel, as Kono calls it. It can't be Count because he's happily retired and married with Trigger. Of course, I completely forgot. So yeah, that's where we're at with characters. We've also got the crew, the Top Gun Maverick crew. Really, we've got Token Black Guy as Professor. We've got Manic Pixie Dream Girl as Tasha, and I don't think this is the. I don't actually recognize him by the eyes. Whether he's the no, I don't think he's Hamburger Dude. No, he is Hamburger Dude. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is the Count Dissian combination or if this is Hamburger Dude. Guitar Guy, thank you. I don't know if this is Guitar Guy or Hamburger Guy. So, but that's the crew. I need to point out, where was the UI? Right here. Bring it up here. Up here, Joker 2, Professor. So, given that we had Professor on the Top Gun Maverick cameras, Joker, we are Joker Squadron. We're Joker 1. More importantly, let me take it back a second. Pay attention here. That fucking pop out. I can't. Oh, there we go. Pay attention here. Gun, missile, QAM, empty, flare, damage. Empty, you say. Third weapon, you say. Second special weapon, you say. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that we are going to be allowed to carry 2 special weapons now. Where do I want to rewind to show one of the beauties? Yeah, there's too much smoke. You guys can kind of see there's like a big missile type here. There's a aim 9s here. No, not aim 9s. I'm sorry. These are aim 9s. I don't know missile types either, to be honest. But you can see there are 3 types of missiles here. So standard missiles, special weapon 1, special weapon 2. I don't think that shot has them. That looks like all the same weapon. But you get the point. I'm pretty sure there are 2 special weapons now. If there's anything that they take from Project Wingman, it better not be the post-launch bug updates. It better not be 1 year of DLC exclusivity. It better not be an art book that I paid for on Kickstarter and still have not received, and the fucking game's producer makes memes about it on Discord instead of actually giving me what I paid for. If it's just going to be 2 special weapons, I'll take it. Because I trust Project Aces to develop missions that are better suited for the kinds of loadouts that we're going to be running. Yeah, there are no better shots of the multiple weapons there. Yeah. No, Project Aces wouldn't stoop that low. I'm just still salty. I'm salty that I still haven't got what I paid for. That's and the fact that they've ruined Project Wingman. Like, the game's achievements don't work. The bug reports that have been filed in the bug report Discord channel for months have not been answered. Project Wingman was a great game on launch. It's not a good game now. if you can get it to run, it's a fine game. That's the problem. So anyway, that's enough about that. We actually have Peak to talk about. One last thing I needed to show on the UI, and I'm sure like a lot of you who have been on Discord have also heard about it and seen it. D-pad. Wingman command. And we're moving on. No, so even like the Steam and website blurbs are like talking about squadrons. Yeah, hard choices, deep squad connections. Part of that is going to be the cinematic cutscenes, which I will talk about in a second. Yeah, experience the pressure of command. Wingman command is back. It hasn't been confirmed. They haven't said anything. But Wingman command is back. Will they be as good as AC6 allies? That's the question. Here's the thing. I didn't like them. I didn't like them that much because your strategy kind of relied on them at some point. The missions were designed around them, more or less. Like if you, God forbid, you got the, well, I guess I was gonna say, God forbid you complete the operation that gives you Yellow Jacket instead of like Avalanche. But actually, Yellow Jacket could do very well against ground targets. But anyway, was there anything else in the trailer specifically that I needed to point out? I'm trying to remember now. Do hamburger. I've seen so many comments that this is Longcaster. It would be so funny if this was Longcaster. It's not going to be, but it would be so funny. Because we also have a hamburger. Like, him holding a hamburger does not make him Longcaster, because we also have the same hamburger. Oh, this sequence, by the way. Oh. Right, FCU. Flag. I've seen a lot of people. We are Longcaster. I'll take it. I will take it. We have never had the FCU flag or roundel or any identifying marks from them ever. We've literally never seen anything to do with the FCU in any of the games. I've seen a lot of people posting the UC and Allied Forces flag and roundel and saying that that was FCU all along. It never was. It was always UC and Allied Forces from 2 and 3D. FCU has never ever appeared before until now. Anyway, this load up sequence here, I realized that just like, no, just a load up sequence here. I realized that just the canopy going down, like we've had that before. But something about the way that this is shot really gives me VR vibes. Like, I get the feeling we're going to see campaign VR, full campaign VR this time. I don't want to hype myself up too much, mostly because I can't usually play VR anyway. The only headset that has ever supported my glasses is PSVR. And I've never had a PSVR 2, so I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But something about the way that this is shot just makes me think VR. Because you can't have this shot and not let us experience that. Right. This fucking thing. This fucking what Ace Combat Fan has called the cargo bird. Kodo said that this is not an arsenal bird. Even the interviewer from Famitsu was like, "Oh, this is an arsenal bird. What's the arsenal bird doing here?" It's not an arsenal bird. It's not curved. It doesn't have drones on the bottom. This is a far cry from the arsenal bird. It's just got big wings and propellers. That's really the only like similarity. It is a big similarity. I was thrown off too, but it is not an arsenal bird. More important about this though. Notice that we broke it apart into pieces. Even this is far more destruction on a massive scale than we got in Ace Combat 7, because these are individual pieces coming off. Like, this isn't a clean cut like what happened in the pre-rend. I don't know if the Stonehenge cutscene was pre-rendered actually. But this isn't a clean slice down the middle. And it's not the sinking that we got with Justice at the end of Lighthouse. This is multiple pieces coming apart. So the destruction engine has been improved. I will get to that shot in a second. Like, you see one piece here, one piece here, one piece is real, and the big piece here. Unless that's another transport plane? Actually, that might be another transport aircraft flying by. I'm not certain. Anyway, this is the shot. This is the money shot. This is going to be the big one. Because I don't know if Project Wingman did this either. Notice the explosion effect here and a couple of pieces here. Like notice all of the explosion effects happening. Let me slow this down. The pieces of the cargo bird are falling onto this other cargo bird and blowing up, and apparently causing damage to components. When the Famitsu interviewer asked Kono about these arsenal bird-looking fucks, Kono said that after explaining that they're not arsenal birds, they're cargo, they're transport aircraft. He implied that they made these specific cargo aircraft for a specific reason, and then said that if you look closely in the trailer, you'll see something that has never been in Ace Combat before. And I believe what he was talking about, and Ace Combat fan clued in on this too, is that wreckage from aircraft will now damage other aircraft. That's sick. I don't know how many opportunities they're going to give us, because clearly, they're doing a thing where one is flying above the other so that you can actually make this happen. I don't know how many opportunities they're going to give us like that. I don't know how, like, if how organically it'll happen. But that concept is sick, because that is also a lot of like rendering involved to give these individual pieces collision and give them damage and stuff like that. When you broke off pieces of the soul, they can kill you if you hit them. Yeah, but this implies that this is a like system. This is a gameplay system that's going to affect everything, not just the one boss battle, because that was the only way to give any kind of difficulty to the soul fight. Besides what Infinity did, but the PS2 was not capable of doing what Infinity did, and honestly, the PS3 was not capable of what Infinity did either. The frame rate drops, I swear. Yeah, so here we get Sodola's flag and emblem. The flag over there. Shadow Squadron of some kind. I'm thinking that these are just the bog standard Reaper drones in real life. I think this is the first time we've actually seen Reaper drones in Ace Combat. I don't remember if the cutscene drone in Assault Horizon was a Reaper, but anyway, what else am I looking for? So in that Famitsu interview, Kono said that the post-stall maneuver looking thing that this Su-57 pulled, making that turn and shooting this missile to the face. Internally at Project Aces, they're calling it a Parthian shot. That implies Iranian influence in their world building for Sodola. Keep in mind, remember that No Stranger Country is a 1-to-1 XP of the real life. But of course, then we see Commander Hottie and well, kind of Commander's Hottie. To be honest, my girlfriend made a post about like this is her type. She's into the uniforms. And these are really incredible looking uniforms. These like ceremonial swords or knives rather. Well, what's a knife but a tiny sword? But this like chair that she's in, it seems like I saw people talking about whether it's a wheelchair or not. It does seem like a wheelchair to me, especially with this control here. I'm guessing this is somewhere in Sodola. But I've been making the joke that this is just, whoops. I mean, look at it. It's Laysaf. This is just Laysaf again. Which makes me think, like, if this is Sodola that we're looking at, how in the world do they have the economy to pull a war? But then again, how did Laysaf have an economy to pull a war? There's another view of the FCU flag and the roundel. Yeah, there's also this on your orders, Rex. So I think Wingman Command is back. Is there anything else? Oh, I wanted to mention Professor's patch here. The FCU Navy patch. The background behind the 6 kind of looks like the old like the Ace Combat 4 map that was in the trailers of the Ulysses coming down on Earth. And also the diagram of Earth in Mobius Squadron's emblem. I don't know. I don't know if that's what's going on here. I don't know if the 6 is like obscuring it too much to make me think that, but something about that made me think that. Howard Stark. So this is an Unreal Engine 5 game. That's just, that's the logo right there. 2026, let's hope it happens, because I like to imagine that given that this game has been in development now for 5 years, with proper full development only really in the last 2 years, but overall it has been in development for 5 years. Let's hope that this is a sign that, like, given that they gave us such a big beefy trailer to start off with, that we are closer to release. You don't have to buy a PS5. It is coming on PC and Xbox. I saw you guys making jokes earlier about Switch, that there's no way that this will run on Switch. I would agree, but I never thought 7 could run on the Switch. There's no way this will run on the Switch 1. There's a possibility if they manage to like lower the resolution on a lot of stuff, they could do a Switch 2 port. It's not impossible. But let's see now. What else do I need to talk about? The story. So, they do call it the outdated aircraft carrier. You guys pointed out as well. The Endurance is a retrofitted SX class aircraft carrier. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I saw someone say that's from the 1950s. So yes, I would say outdated. And it has already retreated far from the front lines. We are in July 2029, so we are 10 years after Ace Combat 7. We are 11 years before Ace Combat 3. We are also 9 years after X. And we are 1 year before Yoko and Dician die, and a sublimated copy of Dician is created. And we are also 2 years? I think it's 2 years before Reina Hirose joined General Resource at the ripe old age of 9 years old. You know, they're getting the elderly now for fighter pilots. Lightning invasion from the Republic of Sodola. So where is that image of the map that I created? It was just a plain thing with like I just put circles around because like some people, well, most people don't know where Sodola is because it's never been mentioned before. Sodola is right here, west of Yuktobania, and just across a small ocean, really, from Usia. So they're not that far apart at all. This is nothing like Erusia somehow sending drones all the way to Osea. And then Osea fighting. Well, Osea didn't go from Osea to fight Erusia. Osean forces were stationed here, but yeah, they're not that far apart. Obviously, you know, they are very far apart because the Earth is flat and these edges, you know, they just fall off the edge, of course. According to the Famitsu interview, which I'm also going to bring up, Shimamoto says that after Ace Combat 7, the FCU has absorbed all Usian countries as member states. So all of Usia is now FCU, supposedly. I don't know if I fully believe that. It sounds weird. Especially because how is that central Usia? How is that the middle of Usia? That's now that is the Federation of Usia, which they already gave us that name in Infinity. So, I mean, they can reuse that all they want. But supposedly, Erusia, North Point, San Salvation, Bulgurdarest, Stelatapura, supposedly, all of them are now FCU. Everything is FCU. You cut the cake open, it's FCU. Always has been. ISAF was disbanded 10 years before Ace Combat 7, JOD. IUN took over their role. ISAF was always supposed to be temporary anyway. So yeah, I don't know. What about the space elevator? So I guess the FCU would then be in control of the space elevator. Here's the thing. Given that Yusia is involved, given that we have a Sodola does a lightning invasion of the FCU, and if the FCU is all of Yusia, most of the nation is occupied. I'm convinced 100% Cosette is coming back, and I don't know if the space elevator is going to be a part of this at all, but I'm positive Cosette is coming back. Positive about that. Whether she's the queen of Erusia or what, I don't know, but yeah, I don't want to say yes, balls. Probably the FCU will collapse, and that allows the corporations to just be like, hey. On this shop, great, just excellent localization. You're given the Wings of Thief name, legendary ace, but it was a lie, it was a story. Now you must carry that name to take to the skies again. Howard Stark gives us the helmet. I'm going to keep calling him Howard Stark. Even when he gets a real name, I'm going to keep calling him Howard Stark. Last thing. Famitsu. Pardon me for my sake and yours. This is going to be a bad translation. Just, I need to say that, and I will keep saying it. This is a bad translation. The latest work that legitimately deepalizes the Ace Combat 8 series. This is an automatic translation. This is a bad translation. Do not read what is being shown. I'm going to give you the high level of it. What are the specifications of the wireless conversation? The reason that I put it to I'm not yet good enough at reading Japanese to be able to just like be like, okay, that's what they're saying here. I'm just using this as an outline to remember what I had already read earlier. So yeah, Ace Combat 7 is soon going to reach 7 million sales. They make a joke here about Shimamoto apparently keeps talking about the 50th anniversary, and Kono says that Shimamoto always talks about the 50th anniversary when we talk about the future, but he's no longer going to be in the company. And then Shimamoto also says like by that point I'll be 60. So they go on to talk about how this isn't just an evolution. They keep describing it as a deepening of the core concepts of Ace Combat. Like they're going deeper, they're fleshing out more about the core gameplay aspects and what will serve those core gameplay aspects. They talk about how they have replaced the True Sky Cloud engine from 7 with a new in-house developed engine. The idea is that their new engine, Cloudy or Cloudly, I don't know. I don't know yet which one it's supposed to be. Essentially, what they've tried to do is with the new engine. Let me see if I can get a better shot of it here. That's decent, but not what I'm looking for. I want something in the clouds. Actually, this will work. This will work. So, do you guys see how this lower level of clouds here is very fluffy? But the higher level clouds are a lot more thin and like spread. And then the really high level clouds are like just very wispy. That's intentional because they're trying to make it so that you don't have to look at your instruments as much to tell like what kind of altitude you're at. So if you see this kind of cloud, you're like, okay, hold on, I'm really close to the ground here. If you see this kind of cloud, you're like, I'm all right, I'm a little high up. And Kona was saying that the idea is that you don't have to pay attention to instruments so much so that you can actually play without like you can play a lot more naturally, essentially. Sunao Katabuchi, who did the side story in 4, the main story in 5, and the main story in 7, is back for the main story in 8. We have first-person cinematics, as you all saw, as everyone has been talking about. Hold on. Borg. Let me actually, yeah, this is a good one. First-person cinematics. Not only do we have first-person cinematics coming back for the first time since Assault Horizon, according to the interview, you will be able to move around the camera, move around your head to look around. And there will be instances where you can press a button to interact with another character. QTEs are back from Assault Horizon cutscenes. You will be able to pound your fist into the air again, or choose not to, I guess. Kodo also confirmed that I think this is a series first. Ace Combat 8, everything will be 1-to-1 scaled, rendered. Whereas all the other games, they were not like this. Even 7 was rendered at a 1/10 scale. So the hamburger is rendered at the same size as the full game map. They talk about getting Sunao Katabuchi back on. They talk about the F-18E being the hero plane this time around. Totally has nothing to do with a recent movie release whatsoever. The F-18E can be used as a ship. Just needed to clarify, in case you didn't know, the F-18E can be used as a ship. This is a bad translation. Do not read what's on screen. I'm just using this to remind myself of where I am. Yeah, they're talking about how it's on an aircraft carrier. There will be non-carrier aircraft, don't worry. So again, what I talked about earlier, it looks like an arsenal bird, but it's not an arsenal bird. It's just a cargo plane. The Parthian shot. They are working on bringing back post-stall maneuvers, but it has not actually been fully implemented yet. This is where Shimamoto talks about the FCU having absorbed all the other countries as member states. So, again, poorly translated here, but Shimamoto brings it up, and the Japanese trailer also did. The tagline here in the English trailer is "Rise Above." The Japanese tagline is different, and my best guess as to how I would localize it is "Sky, comma, teach me." And the idea is that it's the main character literally asking the sky to teach him how to fly. Struggling with the mission, basically. Yeah, again, talking about these perspectives and making cutscenes and dialogue with them. They also apparently made a specific character model for replay camera. So like Kono said, don't think too much about like the character here. It's just a placeholder. It could be whatever and whoever you want it to be. This is specifically for the improved replay camera in 8. Which is really funny. If we could, like, not really funny. I mean, it's really cool if we'll be able to do replay camera from this angle. They talk about the radio communication, the radio dialogue that we all love Ace Combat for. Of course, there's more of that. Kono says he thinks this game has more recorded lines of dialogue than any other Ace Combat game. And both him and Shimamoto talk about how the conditions of the mission, like how you play, will affect which lines play. That has always been the case, but they seem to be taking a bit more. They seem to be taking it more seriously. Like they're focusing on that more. And Shimamoto specifically calls out special radio lines that play when you play better than, like, when you exceed expectations in the mission, basically. and he calls them reward lines. So if you have ever been annoyed at how you can break the script in especially 5 and 7, like you could easily break the radio lines in those games. They're focusing a lot more on that. How that's going to shake up in the actual game, we'll see, but it is something that they're looking at. Keiki Kobayashi is returning, but he is not the main composer. The two main composers are Ryo Watanabe, who has been in multiple Ace Combat games, and every time I butcher his name, I don't want to butcher it live on a stream. Let me just make sure I get this right. Mitsuhiro Kiradani. His only Ace Combat credit is Ace Combat 7, but he did a bunch of tracks there, especially for the DLC. But he did a lot of 7 tracks. So those two guys are going to be the core composers for 8. And trust me, if you don't recognize them by name, you will recognize them by music, and they are excellent composers. Do not be worried. Ace Combat has been composed by a lot more than Keiki Kobayashi the whole time. There will be multiplayer. They say absolutely nothing about multiplayer, and I will get to that in a second. But guys, hold on. I screwed it up. There we go. Look at these. I want them. I don't think these are they jackets? Or are they just... I guess they're kind of like... They're not flight jackets. They're like... They're just... I think they're just plain jackets. But I want them. I want them real bad. But that leads me to multiplayer, which is right here. We have PvP as usual, but we do have co-op. What kind of co-op? We don't know. If it's like multiplayer mission co-op exclusive, or if it's a campaign co-op, we don't know. But also cross-platform multiplayer for the very first time. I say for the very first time. 7 is the only cross-platform game that is ever released in Ace Combat, but still, cross-platform multiplayer. Okay. I did not look at chat at all that entire time. And you guys have probably said a whole lot of stuff that I need to catch up on. So let me do that in a second. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. No, I think that was it. Okay, let me look at Twitch chat first. Yeah, give me a bit, guys. I've got to catch up now. Also, yes, if you do not have a supported system...
It's just a hunch, but I have a feeling Belka is involved somehow.
Thank you, General Labarth. Thank you, Starscream. Yeah, we have no Belka involvement right now, but we also didn't when 7's trailers were starting. So... yeah, holiday 2026, probably. This is going to be late 2026. This is not going to be early 2026. Model kits, of course, we're going to see model kits. Yeah, exactly, Usarak. They do not have to reinvent the wheel, and in fact, like, that seems to be exactly what they're trying to avoid. They want to that's what it seems like when they say that they're not evolving, they're deepening. That they're taking the found. This is exactly what I wanted. This is what I've been saying about 7. It is a solid gameplay foundation. They take that foundation and they roll with it and they develop further into it rather than having to reinvent the wheel again. I'm super happy about that. I'm glad that that's how they're doing it because that's exactly what I wanted them to do. 8 is not winning game of the year. Don't. Oh, Randall Mart, thank you. Thank you so much for the donation. You guys don't have to donate. I thank you. I really appreciate it. That and the subs, I thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would rather that you guys save your money for 8 and for a new system if needed for 8. I need to know if Tasha likes women. Please give me one chance. Listen. Listen though. I don't want to go into I don't want to follow stereotypes. But that hair is not hetero hair. I'm just saying. They couldn't have put together a stranger bunch for the protagonist squadron. Hey, Spare was no what was the line there? No proper military. I don't really like being able to carry more than one special weapon, to be honest, from Corvus. It removes the need to strategize when you can just carry air, anti-air, and anti-ground options at the same time. Here's the thing, Corvus. We have not seen the spread of enemies yet. So I have faith. I do have faith that they will design these missions in a way that you can't just steamroll everything. Like in 5 seconds flat, even with base kit. And besides, there's still going to be ammo counts, and there's probably still going to be parts that we equip to the aircraft. So I expect them to find a way to balance it all and make it still a compelling strategic choice about which special weapons you take. I'm curious to see if they'll let us double up, like double QAMs instead of QAMs and UGBs. So I have faith. I have faith in them. I haven't seen anything that gives me pause for concern yet.
Yo, Hottie.
New subscriber, Blaze016.
Hi, welcome to the stream. Thank you for Oh wait, no, that's a subscribe. Oh, Blaze, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Jose Victoria Nunez, the FCU has always existed, and they were in fact the core of ISAF. Most of ISAF was FCU. It was never mentioned in the game, but it was mentioned on the website. It was mentioned in Aces at War. It's been stated, but just never in the game. Oh, I missed a lot of chat. Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I got into the zone. Oh yeah, yeah. I also want I want a good compelling story as well. I liked Seven's story, but you are fair to say that it did play it safe. The thing is, they had to play it safe. They were kind of forced to after everything else that happened before. But now I do hope that I hope we get something a little bit more a little bit more. Let me see. Still catching up. Got lots to catch up here. Oh yes, Shadow Squadron. That's all we kind of know. Like it's just This Shadow 2/2 Ares. So Shadow Squadron, Antagonist Squadron. That's literally all we got. That would make this the hardest ace combat to date if enemy aces will post-stall maneuver offensively in gameplay. I hesitate to say hardest. We'll have to see. But we'll have to see. How did they have the economy to do a war? So let me introduce you to Belka. Oh, Kestrel, you're right.
New follower, Frank Drain _.
Thank you for following. You're right. Shalaji and Voslej, they fought so hard just to get hit with the under new administration. Oh no. Oh, I didn't even think about them. That's so bad. I feel so bad for them. Oh shit, man. Osea really pulled some strings to make Usia one nation. Speaking protagonist, no. We've seen no evidence that the protagonist is that the character we play as. We haven't seen any evidence that they speak. In fact, in that Famitsu interview, they talked about the nameless, faceless, voiceless character being a core concept because that's our self-insert. It's us in the world. Kono even said that they don't do this thing. Not just that they don't want to.
New follower, Ejir Balls.
Thank you for following. Not that they don't want to, it's just that they don't do this. They don't supplant us with memories of a different character. Like he specifically called out, we don't make you meet your long lost father or something. I thought that was a really specific odd thing to bring up. But no. Nameless voices, voiceless, just as always, self-insert just as always, because that's what they want. They want us they want it to be us doing these feats, not us playing someone else. Emergency F-18. Yeah, it can be used as a ship. We have no idea if oh, Randall, I'm catching up still. Dude. Thank you. Thank you for the donate. Thank you for the double donation. Thank you. Are we gonna get 0 level of dialogue changes? We have no idea. We'll have to see. Will we be able to launch and land non-aircraft carrier jets on aircraft carriers? I doubt it. I think it's still going to be carriers can only accept carrier aircraft. Unless there's a situation probably late in the game that's like, the Kestrel sinking. Exactly, Tunicity. Kobayashi-san is not God. Give the man his paycheck. He's done more than enough. Yeah, he let's not keep him shackled. NFS Most Wanted had a fuck ton of voice lines to make police chases feel realistic, and it worked. It damn worked, you're right. Most Wanted and Carbon had great cop dialogue. So if they just record a shit ton of lines just to try to get a lot of like player agency involved, I would love that. Sorry, hold on. Sorry guys, I forgot you're thirsty. Here, I hope this quenches you. Let's see. Dude, Randall, stop it. Make the one donation and go. Thank you so much. Thank you. God damn it, man. Yeah, we haven't seen any hint of a super weapon, any hint of fictional aircraft besides the cargo bird. I don't know. Listen, if you asked me to predict the Arsenal bird, I never would have in a million years. You asked me to predict Excalibur, Synfaxi, Alicorn? No, never. I let them cook, basically. If it runs flawlessly in the Gabe Cube. We don't know how much the Gabe Cube is gonna cost. That's the problem, though. If it runs well on it, that's going to be a very like compelling purchase for a lot of people, I think, for this game. Because there's a lot of people that still don't have a PS5 or a Series X. And this game is not going to run well on Series S. Series S is so underpowered. Xbox really made a mistake having that as an option. Like having a cheaper all digital option. PlayStation is doing it too. I don't like an all digital future, but the underpowered specs of that thing really set back a lot of Series games. So PS5 or Series X or GameCube will probably be your best bets. Who's on S? Who's betting the Ace Combat original planes will be paywalled DLCs? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ace Combat 6 had the worst DLC prices of every Ace Combat game ever. Those prices were astronomical. And they weren't even for, I mean, they were for technically because the different stats. They were technically new aircraft, but like no new model. And they did not deserve the prices that they were set at. Assault Horizon was also kind of expensive. 7 is the cheapest that any Ace Combat DLC has ever been. For $5 to pay for them to remodel and retexture and do all the things that need to be done with the animations and everything for the new aircraft, for the old aircraft that need to be remade in new engines, I'll throw them a 5. That's not an issue. People bitched and moaned about 7's DLC. You were not there for 6. You were not there for Assault Horizon. I paid $15 for the Harrier, for a pack that contained the Harrier, the Nosferatu, and Tokyo and Honolulu. $15 for just 2 planes and 2 online multiplayer maps that you could only play if everyone else had those online multiplayer maps. $5 for a plane? That's nothing. That's fine. People were going crazy. 7's DLCs are perfectly priced. If they were even cheaper, more that would be the better, but $5 is fine. I'm personally betting from balls. I'm personally betting for a June or July release. Lines up with the Memorial movie dates. No, I'm expecting. Wait, excuse me. I'm expecting a trailer with a release date, for the 31st anniversary. At that point, most of what we've seen is like Mission 1, pre-Mission 1. So we haven't seen literally anything past that. So I'll let them cook. We're gonna get a holiday release. Did she call it Shadow 22 or did she call it 22? She says 22. Okay. I doubt that there's 22 members of Shadow, but all right, Randall said, I hope it's balanced so we can return to the carrier and make the missions feel real. Yeah, I would love to see return lines return more. And I hope they make the aces in missions more aggressive and so they can feel like a threat instead of just for skins acquisition. I can see it both ways because the requirements to unlock some of them to even appear were like they kind of get a little crazy. If on top of that they were also hard to shoot down, that might distract you a little too much from the mission itself. Again, I trust them to balance it, but that is a consideration. How big do you think the game would be if they have the raids from Infinity? Oh. If they have the raids from Infinity, you're I would say that you wouldn't see me again for years, but honestly, no, you would see me every fucking day. I'd be streaming that shit every day. Maybe age will allow us to free roam the carrier. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's going to be primarily cutscenes. From what I was reading in the interview, they didn't seem to even hint at that possibility. It seemed more that it was just cutscenes that give us more of the world to look at, but not that we could actually explore it free roam style. Wasn't Yellow Squadron canonically pretty large, but only flew in 5 ship formations until Megalith? No, actually. Yellow Squadron was just the 5-man formation. Until after Stonehenge. And the narrator points it out that they started having a turnover rate. But also Megalith, the squadron at Megalith was not Yellow Squadron. Those were the young Erusian officers, and they just took on Yellow Squadron's name and livery, just to invoke them. But they weren't actually Yellow Squadron. Are they going to reward players who have previously completed 7 with exclusive planes? Like how Zero, for example, rewards players who've completed 4 and 5 with the XO2 and ADF-01 Falcon. But here's the thing. Zero, you can earn the XO2 and Falcon. They're unlockable. The Falcon in particular, you don't get it automatically for having a 5 save file. You just it becomes easier to unlock. The XO2 is an instant unlock. Is an instant unlock if you have a 4 save file. But also, you do not need to have completed 4 or 5 for their save file unlocks. You just need to have their save data. You can also still unlock them naturally if you only own 0. The problem with 8 having save data bonuses is that they can only do it on PC. Unless you transfer save data from a PS4 to PS5 for Ace Combat 7, and from an Xbox One to an Xbox Series X or S for 7. Oh no, yeah, in fact, you're right. No, people will free roam the cutscenes, but I'm talking about whether the developers will let us, or if we're gonna have to crack open Unreal Engine again. All right, let me catch up with Twitch chat again. If they do, Usarek, let's have missions that are long so you can land on the battlefield like 6. If they do that, I really don't want it to be a situation like in 6 where it forced you to especially focus on whatever, like, you know, recapture the airfield. That was always the meta. You have to do that first. And I didn't like that. Everyone wanted a Wizzo. Turns out we're the Wizzo. But then we lose the pilot and we become the pilot. Yeah, good old Gen AI shooting up RAM prices, making building a PC a nightmare. No, of course it didn't force you to, but it was a very, very heavily incentivized. Is Grendel Squadron even canon? Listen, what's canon and what's not canon is when people say, for example, that Northern Wings is not canon, that's primarily thanks to what we decided on the wiki. I will fight anyone who tries to argue that Northern Wings can be canon, because for some reason it rewrote the story of 5 so that Grendel Squadron shoots down the Arkbird, not Rosgriz. And then, oh yeah, there's an antlion in the desert. This giant tank in some random desert. Unfortunately, Amerian forces can't approach Chandelier in a glacier unless you take out this tank in the desert. Yeah, that makes sense. They call it Strange Reel in the game. Imagine another universe looking at our universe and playing games in our universe, and we called our universe Strange Reel. Imagine I called the universe that we inhabit Strange Reel. That makes no sense. Why would they call it that? That makes no sense. This is real. I do not think highly of Northern Wings' writing. I don't really think highly of its gameplay, to be honest. Art was pretty decent for the kind of game it was, though. Magic, I don't think we play as the OG Rex. Although, now that I say that, like, as I've been analyzing this trailer with you guys, that Su-57 does pull this Parthian shot and shoots that missile at us. And so, I mean, but we also have the other squad mates here. So I maybe this is later in the story. I'm not sure. But I don't know. I don't know. My gut is that all of the shoot down and stuff happens before mission 1. Thank you, Crow. We're real. They're strange real. Of course, that clears it up completely. You see the missile impact and take damage on the HUD? Ah, yes, yeah. 35% right there. Yeah, but this could also be, like, because you get damaged for a second on the HUD in Assault Horizon when Markov shoots you for the first time. And, well, not for the first time in reality, not in the dream. During Blue on Blue. You get the damaged HUD for a second before it switches to the cutscene. So this doesn't not indicate that, but yeah, that's what it seems to me. We inherit Rex's name. Yeah. He's not. That's the thing, though. That's why I keep calling him Howard. He doesn't look like Tony Stark. He looks like Howard Stark to me. I think you play a few missions as Wizzo before being shot down. How? Because you wouldn't have zero control over the movement of the plane. If we're strictly flying as the Wizzo, then all we would be able to do is weapon control. And, looking around. But yeah, I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're gonna restrict us like that. I don't think they want to restrict us like that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I have seen a lot of theories that this guy is working for one of the corporations. I totally believe it. This fucking never trust a man with an earpiece. Never trust an earpiece. This guy is a financial advisor for General Resource. 100%. Listen, I'm still like I am still unnecessarily like proud of this. I still really enjoy this stupid little meme I made. It's stupid. I shouldn't be so happy about this, but it's the little things. It's the little things when I'm deprived of sleep, having been awake for over 24 hours. I can't go to sleep because that'll destroy my schedule. Even if I take a nap, I know better with myself. I know I'm not going to be able to just nap. I'm going to be knocked out. Rather wait until 8 or 9 p.m. I'll figure out how to stay up until then. He's baiting us into wearing out the enemy forces, and once both sides have been exhausted, a corpo comes in and slaps both. It's a fucking setup. Ah, the Belka maneuver. I've seen this before. I've played this game before. Ace Combat. Nationalism is bad. Ace Combat 8. Whoa, hold on there. So is capitalism. I mean, Ace Combat has technically also said that too, but definitely not to that extent. But Viperless, I just saw your post an hour ago on Blue Sky. You're down bad. I don't know if you're still in chat, even, to be honest, but... Hey, Calamitous, welcome to the stream. Yep, Ace Combat 8, Ghost of Kiev edition. Judging by the look of the missile and the Parthian shot, I think they're finally using the R-73 as a standard missile for Russian aircraft, as opposed to the dated R-60 in previous games. Whoops. That little black dot? Obviously not the black dot. You'd have to tell me. I'm not an aircraft nut. I'm even less of an aircraft carrier nut, and I am nowhere near a missile nut. I am curious if we're going to go to the Sodola mainland. I mean, that's what this is. That's what this has to be. And I'm so curious about Commander Hottie's wheelchair. What is going on there? I'm sorry, this is my girlfriend coming through. Commander Hottie and her underlink, Commander Hottie. Tunistany, that's the thing. Surface level, all of the Ace Combat games are nationalistic power fantasies. But if you dig into the lore, they are completely opposite. 100%. They are very anti-nationalism. It will be a shame if this takes place 9 years after Ace Combat X and we don't get any Ace Combat X fictional aircraft. None of them showed up in 7. So, even if they're DLC, I hope that they bring at least some of them back. Hi, Admiral General, roll over my face, please. I'm a... Is that cassette? Oh, no. Not even the same skin color, Jack. That is not cassette. I don't remember cassette going to the gym. Yeah, she's much more stick than this. She is. I remain completely convinced that cassette will show up. Just, we haven't seen her in the trailers. But again, as I've said, what we have seen, what is important, that's what matters. I'll go here, and again, reminder, I'll go here. So whoever this pupper is, it's a good pupper. Guys, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Tired, boss. As a reminder, for those of you who are just joining later in the stream, because I said this at the beginning of stream, sick jackets. The Ace Combat Wiki moved 2.5 years ago. We're at acecombat.wiki.gg. I also set up a redirect domain. You could just go to acecombat.wiki. and it'll redirect you wherever we move, if we ever move again. Hopefully, we won't. I really don't want to have to go through that again. But that's a redirect domain. And also, install this Indie Wiki Buddy. You can get it at getindie.wiki. It'll help you redirect to the new Ace Combat wiki, and also plenty of other independent wikis. I'm going to spam this link a little bit because this is a very, very good extension, and I highly recommend everyone use it. If you have an Android phone, you can even use this on Firefox for Android. And I highly recommend that because I installed Firefox on my Android specifically so that I could use AdBlock on it. And the good AdBlock, uBlock Origin. Balls, I saw you mention it earlier. What is Ace Chronicles? What are you talking about there? I'm tired, boss. Are you talking about acecombat.jp, the official Project Ace's run Ace Combat website? Oh yeah, I guess they do call it Ace's Chronicle on the tab. Huh, fair enough. Yeah, but you're just talking about the official Ace Combat website. No, it has not been updated. Yeah, I wasn't filming a reaction. Silly me. There's no way Ace Combat would show up at the Game Awards. that world map of Strange Reel is the old map. Yeah, that's a fair point. Excuse me. We don't actually know Mobius 1's nationality. Or Cypher's. Yeah, Kun. I was explaining when I saw the missile alerts, when I heard the missile alerts, I was like, huh? No, it can't be. Then I heard Federation, and I was like, still can't be. Then I saw the raft, and I was like, Castaway. And then he said Federation, I'm like, no, still Castaway. Then he said Central, and I was like, stop. And then he said UC, and I screamed. I can't blame Jeff Calamitous. Um, I'm actually, genuinely, I am actually surprised that he did say anything. Like, I was, I really thought he was just going to gloss past it. I'm going to disagree with what you said earlier. I think the suited guy is going to be your lovable PR manager civilian working for the armed forces. No, I agree with you. And then he's going to reveal that he was like a general resource thing. And not in an evil way. He's going to be like, hey, so, I'm part of this company, and we'd like you to be a part of the, the mercenary force underneath the company. You want in? And then they're going to get this love child between Count and Dician. So you like bombs? I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of memes of what you're looking at is advanced warfare. Man, Zix CFF, I never left. I never really left. I've been at the wiki. What do you mean theorize, Magic? Mobius 1 is the dog. That's why the Erusian shot him on sight. Normally, people wouldn't shoot dogs, but the Erusian saw Mobius 1, and he was like, no, fuck. Like a sleeper agent. Just activated upon seeing Mobius 1. Frey, it's the Wings of Thieve. Thieve is the city name. It's not thieves. It's not plural. El Penguin, welcome. My scream, my scream. My voice is going too. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. All of these cutscenes, they're all not pre. That's exactly what I did not want to say. They're not pre-rendered. All of these are in engine. Oh, that's my that's my 1 o'clock alarm in case I oversleep. Sorry about that. I I don't think the Ghost of Kiev was initially a propaganda project. In-engine cutscenes mean we can mod everything there. Hmm. This is the first time we see Strange Real Eastern Bloc since 5. Yeah, Yuktobania got mentioned in 7, but you're right, yeah. There's not an official Ace Combat Discord. I don't believe that. There's an official Ace Combat Discord. Are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. That's... Oh boy. Oh boy. I have no idea why why it won't stand in YouTube, but there you go. Oh boy. I'm calling it now. This is a mistake. Also, the YouTube chat has just fully died. On my end, not you guys. Well, I mean, that's basically it. I don't think there really is much less to say. I've been live for over 2 hours, jeez. The news really is game looked good, very hype, yeah. Phoenix has earned his retirement by now. Same with Mobius Swan. Alright guys, I'm tapped out. I think that's it for me. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for all the support. I don't know that I really deserved it. For all the subs and the sorry about that. That was notification. Oh, actually, you guys didn't hear that. Thanks for everything. Thanks, guys. No, I can't head to bed yet. I can't because it's 1 p.m. and if I go to bed now, I'm gonna screw up everything for my sleep schedule. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the official Ace Combat Discord server.
You solitary now.
Thank you, Calamitous. Bye, everyone. See you when I see you.
Careful now. The enemy has you on radar.